The Civil Service Bureau said for the backlog of cases, they will proactively monitor the progress of the responsible departments and provide suggestions when the need arises.
HK Express said they will address the manpower shortage problem by making more hires in the mainland. The airline believes such employees will better facilitate the growing number of tourists coming from the Greater Bay Area. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. It has been around 6 months since the Civil Service Bureau implemented a streamlined mechanism to retire civil servants on grounds of persistent substandard work. Under the new mechanism, the review process has been activated for 6 government officers so far. 1 civil servant has been forced to resign. The Civil Service Bureau said for the backlog of cases, they will proactively monitor the progress of the responsible departments and provide suggestions when the need arises. 4 cruise ships carrying some 10,000 visitors arrived in Hong Kong today. The ships have docked at the Kai Tak Cruise Terminal and the Ocean Terminal. Timothy Lee tells us more.
Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Hong Kong Express has reported a record-breaking number of passengers this month at over 500,000. The airline stressed its passenger flight capacity has surpassed that of the pre-pandemic era and predicted a further growth of 20 to 30% within this year. Timothy Lee again.
HK Express said they will address the manpower shortage problem by making more hires in the mainland. The airline believes such employees will better facilitate the growing number of tourists coming from the Greater Bay Area. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
President Xi Jinping met with American business leaders as well as senior representatives from the strategic and academic communities in Beijing today. In Baltimore, divers returned to the waters surrounding a collapsed bridge this morning, searching for 6 missing workers who are presumed dead. The bridge collapsed when a cargo ship crashed into it, throwing the workers off the bridge and into the river below. An investigation is underway into the bridge collapse. Tracy Furness reports. And still ahead. Welcome back. The UN Security Council resolution calling for an Israel-Hamas ceasefire during the remainder of Ramadan has had little impact on the ground in Gaza. The war continues with multiple strikes and truce talks are making little progress. David Garrett reports. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko said the gunmen who attacked Crocus City Hall outside Moscow last Friday initially planned to flee to Belarus, not Ukraine. That's despite Russian President Vladimir Putin claiming Ukraine had prepared a window for the attackers to cross the border. Locally, an 84-year-old man died in his Kowloon home after he was suspected to have been murdered by his wife. The woman is suspected to have used tape to deprive him of oxygen before attempting suicide herself. She was unconscious when sent to hospital. Authorities have listed the case as murder and attempted suicide. A man has been sentenced to 45 days in prison for throwing a national flag and Hong Kong SAR flag into a nullah. The case. Starting from the next school year, the written and speaking assessments of the Language Proficiency Assessment for English and Putonghua teachers will be replaced with IELTS and the state's Putonghua Proficiency Test. Over to sports, Elena Rybakina outlasted Maria Sakkari to set up a Miami semifinal with Victoria Azarenka. Klay Thompson and Jonathan Kuminga took the weight off Steph Curry as the Golden State Warriors won in Miami 113-92. And that's the news. Thank you for watching.